How do you blunder and sacrifice at the same time against the world champion Magnus Carlsen? This is what US Grandmaster Naroditsky did in a bullet game played on lichess. Part 2 will be the live recording, but part 1 is the analysis of the game. If it's your first time here, hello, my name is William. Let's begin. Magnus Carlsen has white, Naroditsky has black at the time of the game, played on the 20th of March. White's rating is 31-26. Naroditsky's rating is 30-44. e4, e5. d4, knight c6. Normally in this position, black would take in the center. Black defends with the knight. Take, take, giving white this chance to play f4 to get 2 pawns in the center. This could be risky because you open up this diagonal. Knight back to c6, knight f3, knight f6 attacking the center pawn. Magnus pushes, and in this position, Naroditsky played bishop c5. Is this a blunder or a sacrifice? You decide. Bishop c5 stops white castling. You take the knight. The kings are now exposed on the e-file. Black just castles, gets on with it, plays rook e8 check next. Take on g7, rook e8 check, you block with a bishop, and d5. Is it worth sacrificing a piece? So then your opponent cannot castle? Yes, especially in a bullet game. Your opponent is not going to be able to make easy moves. Very difficult to play this position when both of you only have 1 minute on the clock. King f1, the rook in the corner. It's got to find a way to get in the game. Bishop g4, pinning the knight to the bishop. Knight d2 defends the knight. Knight might come to b3, and from this spot it will attack the bishop. Queen to f6, putting the queen facing the king. Knight b3, you attack the bishop. Also, this bishop defends this pawn. Bishop back to b6, you got to keep it on this diagonal, controlling the key f2 square. h3 played, which is a blunder. One option is actually to play h4, and you'll see very soon why this move is very necessary. It is to stop the black queen to actually come in that square. In this position, h3 is actually a blunder because you can take, and after take, then you can get the queen in. Queen f2 is mate. Only one good way to stop it, which is queen d2, but then you can get your piece in the game with knight b4. You've thrown this distraction. White cannot take because you come into f2 with mate. Also, rook e1 is mate. The point of knight b4 is if you do nothing, black will play knight takes c2. If you block with the knight, then you can just crash through in style. Bishop takes d4. You cannot take the bishop because rook e1 is mate. After h3, bishop f5 played, bishop d3, bishop e4, right in the center of the board, the perfect spot for the bishop. Attacking the knight, bishop d2, queen g6 facing the king and also lining up on this diagonal. Bishop c3, bishop protects the pawn, queen protects the bishop. Multi-purpose move. Queen g3, coming into f2. In this position, white now blundered with queen e1. Can you find another defensive move for white? Pause the video now or let the timer run. How can white defend this position? One option is bishop e1. It's a really good option because you attack the queen has to move. Let's say you take the pawn and then bishop f2. It's almost like black's attack is completely over. If the bishops come off, very difficult for black to proceed and he is losing. But in this position, queen e1 was played. Black just crashes through now. Pause the video to have a go or just let it run. Or did black play now? Bishop takes d3 check. Rook faces the queen. And after take, rook takes queen check. Black is now totally winning. Bishop d2, drop the queen back to attack the pawn. Bishop c3, queen g6, attack that pawn. Rook d1, rook e8, you control the open file. Knight d4, getting that knight in the game. Then that knight was doing nothing. But this leads to more trades, which favors the winning side. Take, 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 take. Queen takes g7. You attack the knight. When that knight moves, the pawn drops. Black is completely winning. Knight moves, queen takes b2. When the queen is here, you can come into e2 and also you can collect on a2. King g1, rook e2. Very powerful to have two major pieces on the 7th rank. For white, this is on the 2nd rank, rook h2. How tragic to have a rook to defend your pawn in such a way. Queen takes a2, rook f1, a5. Let's just see the rest. Knight d4, attack the rook. Rook d2, attack the pawn. Knight f5, queen c2, h4, rook d1, offering a trade. Rook h3, take, check. King f2, push your pawn. That's a queen. Rook e3, we can all blunder checkmate in one. Rook e8. Another way to stop it is to push the pawn. f6 or h6. King f8, rook e2, a3, and Carlsen resigned. Just goes to show, even though you're up a piece, it can be so difficult to make easy natural moves. In this game, it just completely worked out for Naroditsky. This was part 1. Part 2 is now the live recording. I recorded this from Carlsen's perspective. f4, we get the center. Knight f6, e5, right. Bishop c5, sacrificing a piece. And then we come in with rook e8 check. He blocks with bishop e2, get the center. King f1 because he cannot castle. Bishop out to g4. Very difficult for white to move. Knight d2 to defend the knight, but queen now comes into the game. Keep the bishop on that diagonal. h3, you chase it away. Now, in the position I showed, bishop takes f3 was winning. Bishop d3, bishop right in the middle. Bishop d2. Queen g6 facing the bishop and facing the pawn on g2. Bishop c3. So then the queen defends the bishop. Queen g3, queen f2 is now mate. Bishop e1 was a defense, but here Carlsen blundered and black now totally crashes through. I bet Carlsen, he was so angry when this happened. Queen g6 now attacks that pawn. Rook e8 controls the open file. Even queen back to g3 if he wants. So Carlsen blocks, but lots of pieces now come off. Attack the knight, the queen now takes the pawn on b2. King g1, the rook in the corner doing nothing. Very tragic to have a rook defend a pawn like this. And the game is almost over, but Carlsen tries to checkmate his opponent. Why not? h4, rook d1, offering a trade. The rooks come off, throw in a check. Push your pass pawn, rook e3, mate on the back. But king f8 and we're good. a3, game over. Because you watched all the way until the end, you might like to watch Magnus Carlsen losing in 26 seconds. Spoiler alert, a brilliant checkmate.